If you're training for enduro racing or you're going on a biking holiday where the descents are going to be longer than your normal local trails, it's no good just practicing 45-second descents with a heart rate that's starting at 120. Instead, fire road sprint into the trail to maximize your heart rate. And that's how we can extend the demands of shorter trails to prepare you for racing or longer descents on holidays. If you're training for mountain biking, don't limit yourself to turbo trainers. Although the intervals on there are fantastic for capacity, the demands of mountain biking are more than road cycling. So consider a rowing machine in your training to get more of an upper body pull and a hinge which better reflects mountain biking. But not just that, you can twin this with high rep medium weight bench press. So pick something you can do 15 to 20 reps of and then split between rowing and bench by doing 10 sets of 500-meter row and then a 2-minute rest in between each 15 to 20 bench. This combo will make you a better rider than sitting on a turbo all day. The biggest issue with trail riding warm-ups is probably your desire to not look like a bell end. So do this, it'll only take 2 minutes. You can do it discreetly while your mates are getting faffy with putting their bikes together. All we're doing is loosening up the hips to prepare for the first dropping in of the trail. So this will stretch the hip flexor at the back. Do both sides for 10 pumps, then 10 Cossack squat pumps. This will help into the groin, both sides, and then the most important one, a curtsy squat down at the bottom, which will help with all of the rotation through the hips for what you need to be dynamic on the bike. And finally, upper body, super important, an elevated archer push-up. Just hit 10 reps, bam, just to prepare. That warm-up will take no time at all, and I promise you, it will help you ride. Peace. Single leg training is fantastic for mountain biking, particularly if you're training at home and you don't have any weight. The pistol squat is exactly that. Loading a single leg, bam, to the bottom. It might be difficult for two reasons: strength and mobility in the ankle. If mobility is an issue, you can raise the heel on anything that makes it more easy to keep an upright torso. Or if you're strong, you can hold a weight out, which counterbalances you and makes the whole mechanics easier. If you struggle with strength, then swap to a seated version. This way you can add an alternating pistol squat to your routine, get fitter and stronger at home for mountain biking. If you find that your quads are on fire but your heart rate is reasonably low on long ascents, there's a good chance that you lack the muscular endurance that you can build more easily in the gym than on the bike. And to build that muscular endurance, try this feet together heel raised squat for anything over 20 reps. We're probably aiming for 30 to 40 per set with about 2 minutes rest in between. Try 3 to 5 sets a couple of times a week and then see how well you can pedal up hills. We know absolute strength is good for mountain bike training, but don't test yourself on 1 and 3 reps only. Test yourself on the 20 rep max back squat. This way we can test more accurately your strength endurance, which will reflect your mountain bike performance a little better. A benchmark for you is 20 reps at body weight. Good luck. When you're on a training ride and you push for time, you might want to slam the transitions. But if you look, my heart rate is super high, which will affect my downhill capabilities. So there's no good dropping into a trail with your heart rate at 174 if you really need to practice your skills. So put a heart rate strap on, watch on the handlebar, wait for your heart rate to get below 120, then you'll get best skill acquisition versus fitness. Rotational strength is amazing for mountain biking, undeniably. A banded rotation here really isolates the obliques, which is going to be important for that handling. But what we often see in this movement is trainers or trainees standing and then extending here. This actually does nothing more for the core other than going from unloaded to loaded. And if the purpose is to get better shoulder strength, then there are much better things to do. Whilst doing a banded rotation, lock out, bam. Keep your chest and face pointing your hands, bam. And then rotate entirely through your core. Work on what you know is good, not just what you see on the internet. We don't all wear smartwatches for Strava. Although it's a bonus, I actually wear mine for heart rate. Even on a ride where I'm just going to lap on my own, I'm going to take my watch, put it on my handlebar, and then we know that the accuracy of the heart rate on a watch isn't great, so I wouldn't really trust it. Instead, we've got a heart rate strap. This is way more accurate. What I can do there is see my heart rate real time instead of having to look at my watch. So I can slam it down the trail, and then every transition I can make sure that I'm in zone 2, which for me peaks around 140. So I can go all day knowing that I'm not going to be at 150 or 160 or just subjectively feeling good or bad. And then come race day, I know that I can do every transition at 140 beats and then have all the energy in the world for going as fast as I can down the hill. Olympic lifting is undeniably good for speed and power, particularly in the extension of the posterior chain, which is good for mountain biking. However, it demands quite a lot of technique. So instead of doing a full clean like this that demands shoulder and elbow and wrist mobility, finding a good rack position, and then timing and contact of the thigh. This is all efficient movement, fantastic for heavy weight. However, we like to do the dirty clean. You can have a wider hand position. You're over the front, and then there's a good hinge, and all of the upward thrust, go for it, is initiated through the posterior chain, which is what we want from the clean, but less efficient, which doesn't mean worse. It actually means more muscle activation in the places that we want, because we don't have a rebend of the knee, means less quads, and we're doing a good extension. A wider grip and elbows under mean no need for mobility of the shoulder, elbow, and wrist, which many mountain bikers struggle with. So the dirty clean, try it if you don't know how to Olympic lift. Speed and power training for mountain biking can be achieved with Olympic lifting or heavy kettlebell swings. If you have a good deadlift technique, it's maybe more controllable and more encourageable to put a band on, encouraging speed at the top. Bam! This way we can load heavy, get the extension in the posterior chain safely with good form, and get all of the benefits of speed and power that you need to be a better mountain biker. Training absolute strength is important for mountain bikers, particularly to deal with big compressions, but also is muscular endurance, because when we're going down for 4 or 5 minutes in a gnarly downhill section, we need to be able to cope with that all the way down. So instead of just testing your 1 or 3 rep max on the press, get a free bar, which is 20 kilos, take a handlebar width, and then rep out as many as you can. Comment below what you get to. What's that? 9, 10, 11, all the way, Johnny. One. 103. 103, see if you can beat it. Whilst training for mountain biking at home without any weight, you might find it difficult to get any overhead pressing. So try this dive bomber push-up. So in a down dog position, Get close to the ground with your forehead, scrape, and then press up. What we're doing here is loading the shoulders in a fantastic way to build strength and health and mobility, but also get benefits through the posterior chain in the stretch, and then also lower back extension for more mobility also. If you struggle with this, when you get to this position, pop your knees on the ground and then continue up and then replant your toes. Or if you want a harder version, get to the top and then reverse it, and then make it super difficult on your strength of triceps, shoulders, and chest. Do 3 sets of as many as you can daily, and you'll be better on the bike. If you're looking for the perfect upper body movement at home to train for mountain biking, this might just be it. The Tyson Push Up. Got my feet against the wall to stop me sliding backwards. I'm going into a bear position, which is opening the shoulders, creating strength, endurance, and mobility there. And then obviously the pushing benefits of the push-up. Rep out as many as you can, 5 times with 2 minutes rest in between, and that will make you a better rider.